Welcome to the spot. It's time to ignite. Oh yeah. Operation Hangout. The feeling's just right. Chilling with the crew. We're ready to groove. Opinions flying high. Come on, let's move. Woo. Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Pull up a chair, let's get in the zone. Voices blend and smooth, like a funky trombone. Oh yeah. Topics from the heart, making us think. With a twist and a shout, raise up your drink. Cheers! Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Bring it down, shake it up, feel the beat. With every word we share, the circle's complete. Woo. Living loud, think it proud, that's what we do. Oh yeah. Join the club, come on through, we're waiting for you. Alright. Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Hang out.
What is going on, everybody? We're back at another stream, another live. You know where you're at. You're at Spartan Industry Network. You're the show of shows tonight. You're at Operation Hangout. I am the Spartan, the host, aka Peter. How is everybody doing tonight? So, this show is something I've been looking forward to for a while. Because, you guys know, from you guys who don't know, let me recap a little bit. I have a martial art background. I studied martial arts for multiple years. I'm a third grade black belt, 4-time world grand champion. But what fascinated me was always these actors who are not martial artists, who can perform some great kicks, some great punches, some great techniques. But also fascinated me more, martial artists turn into actors. There are a bunch of them. And we'll go over some of this in a few minutes. And that is something that I always that was weird. Something that always fascinated me. Because there's some movies that you can watch and when like you say, yeah, that was good. But let's get this guy in here. Let me get his intro because I get the right intro this time. So
How's it going, Peter?
yeah, brother, that one.
Oh man, how's it going?
All right, before I got to say two things to you before we move on with the show, okay? Before we get really into it deep. One, look like you about to take a shit.
Okay, I'll work on my facial expression, man.
That's fine. I keep it the way it is. I actually enjoy it. Number two, you're right. So fuck you. I love my Samsung now. So you guys
Told
know,
you. Told you.
some of you guys. Okay, so we did a show a while back, Apple versus Android, and I've been going back and forth for years. I've been going to Apple, back to Android, Android to Apple, and so on and so on. But I was stuck on a Samsung for a while. So when iPhone 12 came out, I moved back to Apple. You need to change. That was the best phone on the market at the time. The chip, blah, 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 whatever. Got the 15, and I got sour because I really bought the same phone twice, and my phone was taking shit. And I go, I need a new phone, but I don't want to buy an Apple. And I did research talking to this knucklehead over here, and I ended up getting addicted to my Samsung. Good Luck is a great program to have. That you experimented with Good Luck?
No, I haven't tried it yet. Actually.
Oh, you have no idea what you're missing, bro. The customization is unlimited. Your mind is your imagination. You definitely have to fuck with that, dude. Do some research on it, because make sure you download the right stuff, because there's so much in there.
Got it. No problem. No problem.
So martial art actors versus real martial artists. That is a fascinating story. We're both martial artists.
Right.
We both have competed in multiple tournaments. I have a 4-time world grand champion, like I mentioned a minute ago. Have you what you have any titles, anything like that, or just
no? I just basically just trained and everything else. My sister was the competitor. You know, trophies, okay, medals, everything.
So, what do you think when you hear this? Martial art actors versus real martial artists.
Pay attention to the artists and not the actors. Even though the actors may have a bit of a background in it, the ones who've been training for a significant amount of time, who don't appear in front of the camera, are the ones that are that dedicated. You do have some that are able to make that switch, and they fit in both. They fit in both worlds, like Ernie Reyes Jr., Taylor Lautner. Those guys all competed in martial arts before they got into acting. And there's a difference between those who know just enough and looks good for the camera, and those who are that serious in competition. And those are the ones you got to respect even more, because those are the ones I've been competing for so long to give martial arts its legitimacy. And there are a lot of fighters, guys like Don Dragon Wilson, guys like Bill Superfoot Wallace, guys like Billy Blanks, guys like Herb Perez, Cynthia Rothrock. A lot of them were very good competitors before some of them got into acting or stay involved in martial arts and everything else.
Time out. Billy Blanks, I didn't think he was a martial actor. He was only a fitness guru, I thought.
If I remember, I believe he did I think he did let me look it up real quick.
I'm doing it right now. So okay. Keep doing it. So there are a lot. I just found out today, actually. What's his name? Wesley Snipes is actually a martial arts. I found out.
Yeah,
it threw me off.
According to this, he did martial arts. I'm trying to see what discipline he practiced. No, I'm afraid that he won't. No. He did semi-contact. According to this, semi-contact and point karate back in the 1980s.
All right, I got him right here. I'm going to look it up right now.
And he also took both karate and taekwondo as well.
Which one are we talking about now?
Billy Blanks.
Billy Blanks. Okay.
He does hold a black belt.
I did not know he was actual real martial arts. Yeah, I see that right now. I'm looking at it myself. And he did a bunch of acting too, I see.
Right.
He did King of the Kickboxing, TC 200, Showdown, Tales of the Eagle, The Last Campui, Back in America. That's it, I think. Tough and Deadly, and so on. So he has a good portfolio. I did not know that.
Right. He's done, let's see, he has a 5th degree, he has a 7th degree black belt in Taekwondo. He has a 50th degree black belt in karate, and he's also has a black belt in an art. No, he has a black sash in Hunga Kung Fu. And he trained under Sifu Wang Ting Fong.
Okay.
So yes, this is definitely someone who's been. You can tell definitely this is someone who's put a significant amount of time into it. You know,
I think the best one comes to a lot of people's mind is Michael J. White.
Michael J. White, yeah.
That's the number one I would say on a heartbeat.
Oh, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
So when people hear martial arts, they usually think the most popular ones, and there are a lot more than just those.
Right.
The most popular ones off my head and off from the list I have on Google is obviously Bruce Lee. Everybody knows
Right.
who Bruce Lee is. He was the man who created martial art acting. In the Hornet, was it the show he played in?
The Green Hornet.
The Green Hornet. He was moving so fast. They told me you need to slow down, dude. We can't get. It was blurred, and like he was moving so fast. His hands, it was just blurred at one
Right.
point.
I remember seeing a repeat of Batman, the original Batman series with Adam West.
Mhm.
And he and I forgot who the actor was that appeared as the Green Hornet, actually appeared on an episode of Batman.
Okay.
So he definitely earned his acting chops in that aspect right there.
Oh, absolutely. I can't deny that. The next one in second place is our biggest comedian and best rush hour actor, in my personal opinion, is Jackie Chan, the drunken master. And he is a real martial artist because he's one of the few people who master a technique called drunken master.
And from what I've heard, it's very difficult to master.
It is. I have a little bit of experience personally in the background myself because I remember I told you our style is mixed. And doing it, you literally have to be off balance the whole
You have
time.
to be the fact that you have to be off balance, where in martial arts balance is important.
It is. So here's the catch-22 with a drunken master, and you don't know. You may know this, you may not know this. You might be off balance, but when you go for the punch, you're on balance already.
Right.
Yeah. So it's weird. Is you have to be off balance but on balance at the same time. It's
right.
They both kind of dig themselves, but they both marry each other very well.
Exactly.
Like praying mantis technique or
praying mantis
tiger technique or any of those the Chinese techniques, because most of the Chinese kung fu, all those martial arts in Chinese are based off animals. Most people don't know that. Jet Li's a third place. Can't go wrong with him, obviously.
Yeah, that's true.
Donald Yates. Am I saying this right?
Donnie Yee?
Yes. Yeah. He's been in a lot of movies. The last movie he played in was John Wick 4. He also played Ip Man. He was the final. He was the main character.
Okay.
Chuck Norris, obviously.
Of course.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Chuck Norris.
Yeah, he was a legend. Hate him or love him, that's a different story. This one, people don't give him enough credit for.
Who's that?
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yeah. Tony Jaa.
Tony Jaa.
Yes, thank you. That's another one. Michael J. White, we mentioned him already.
Right.
Scott. Man, I'm butchering his last fucking name. King.
Scott King.
Yes.
A King. I believe it is. It's A King or A King.
Yeah. If I think, wait, he looks familiar for some reason.
Scott Aiken, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I heard the name somewhere. I'm trying to remember where, but I know I heard that name somewhere.
I'm actually pulling his profile right now. I'm wondering if he was in the one thing I'm thinking. I don't want to say out loud.
Gotcha.
I want to make sure I have it right. Actually, I'm gonna look it up another way. So give me 1 second to look it up.
No problem.
I can't find it that way, but I'll find it in a minute. So let's continue the list because I want to look this guy up in a different way. Because if this is what I think it is, I have a story to tell you. I don't blab in my mouth until I'm sure.
Gotcha.
Michael. Oh man, Yoh, Yeoh. I can't pronounce his fucking names.
Michael Yeoh.
Yeah,
is.
something like that. Samo Hook was another one. Aiko Yuku.
Okay.
Jason Strider. He was in a transporter.
Jason Statham.
Statham, yeah, and China Rothro.
Cynthia Rothrock. That's what I just
Yeah,
mentioned.
why did they have weird fucking names? The woman's goddamn
Cynthia
names
Rothrock.
fucking-
Yeah, she was like one. Like I remember watching some of her movies. She's not tall, but she had speed that worked for her, and she had very good balance. She had speed, very good hand-eye coordination, very good kicking ability as well, and she was like one of the first female. Honestly, in my opinion, a lot of those movies back in the mid to late 80s, she was like one of the first female martial art fighters that you would see. Like she was that's how well she is. Like she was able to take what she learned from training and competition and put it on screen and show that, you know what, this person is very legit in what she can do.
Okay, so the person I was thinking about is not, but they look very similar.
Is that
These two, Matt Miller. He was in the documentary back in Discovery, I believe, did it. It's called Extreme Martial Arts.
Oh, I never had a chance to catch it.
Oh my dude, you have no idea what you're missing.
Okay, I got
They showed a different version of a martial art. It came out in 2003, the documentary.
Okay.
And it's a very lovely documentary. The guy's instructor was, and I had the pleasure of meeting him briefly in a tournament, Michael Chanrakbung. I am so killing that name. I'm going to share my screen of this one because I am not going to try to pronounce his fucking names.
Okay, go put it up. Let me check it out.
So this is the cast. I met Matt briefly. Too.
Okay.
So when these two were always together, Michael and Matt were always together. Matt was his trainer. Michael was his trainer, and Matt was the guy who competed, right?
Right.
And
I think it's Chattering Tabit. I think it sounds like Chattering Tabit. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I'm not gonna try to pronounce it because I can't pronounce his fucking name. So I saw my instructor, Master Ray, talking to Mike. Like he like going by Mike. I remember.
Okay.
Like I'm getting old too. So I went up to him and I talked to my instructor like, hey, Master Ray, I'm about to go up. He wanted me to let him know. He goes, all right. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna introduce you to a colleague of mine. Mike. He likes to go by Michael so and so, but he likes to go by Sensei Mike.
Okay.
Carrying my respect or whatever. That's a student. You guys might be competing against each other.
Right.
I go, oh, okay. I'm like, good luck because you're gonna need it. That was fun. And he was 5 years older than me. I remember that much.
Okay.
And he was a little weird in my opinion at the time, but now it makes sense why he did this.
Right.
He used to take a bottle of water before he goes on a match and spit it out like Triple H kind of style.
Oh, okay.
Detox all the bad spirits so he can fight. You know what I'm saying?
Ah, okay.
And that was a little different than I was ever used to, if that makes sense.
Okay. Ooh, Paul. No, Eric, never heard of this guy, to be honest.
No, me neither.
Karen Shepard. Oh, wow. I forgot about Karen Shepard.
Yeah. But I want to actually talk about one individual really fast. You know who I'm talking about? He's Italian, and he can't come back in the country right now.
Oh, is he in a place where it starts with the letter R?
I'm not sure where he is right now.
Oh, okay. Oh God. I'm stumped.
He was big in the 90s.
Say again?
He was big in the 90s.
Oh, wow. I'm trying to remember who. Oh, God.
He had a ponytail.
Oh, wait. I
want to see if we got it.
Steven Seagal?
Bingo.
No. Oh, okay.
Steven Seagal.
I heard he's living in Russia.
I'm not sure where he lives right now. To be honest with you.
No, I kind of looked into it, and from what I looked up and researched, I heard he's living in Russia.
Good possibility. Not sure, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but I
Uh,
heard, and I like, like both of us know, like we know people still within the community. You hear things, especially from individuals who've been fighting and competing for a long time, high-ranking individuals. Like you've heard stories like Seagal is not who.
he's an asshole.
Yeah, like more than just that, but like some people have questioned his credibility when it
His
comes.
ranking.
Yeah,
Listen, every martial arts, and I think we both can agree this, has flaws. Let's be honest here.
true.
Stephen Cosone, I don't think he was a great actor personally.
Mm,
He was always very shit didn't stink for him. You can tell how you going. I heard he used to be an asshole on set. He used to cause a lot of fights on set.
oh, really?
That's what I heard. I'm going off rumors at this point.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And his style makes sense for somebody who's older,
Right.
not for the streets.
Nah.
And he thinks he's one of the like it says here on his on Google overwrite, it says he is technically a 7th degree black belt.
Really?
Yeah, so get me started. 7th degree black belt, and he has in a he pretty much gave his life to Shikang in Akaki Kandinko. That's the style he's training in. I can't pronounce the fucking word. He's all right. There. All right. Okay, that's working again. Good. So he's a instructor. He was an instructor in Japan. I've never heard of that personally. He became the first non-Japanese and American to operate a Aikido dojo. That part I believe a little bit.
Aikido.
Yeah, Aikido. Thank you.
Aikido. Yeah.
The way they fucking spell it here is different, bro.
Yeah, Aikido. The thing about Aikido that people don't realize is you're taking the person's balance and using it to your advantage.
Like Tai Chi.
Yeah, kind of like Tai Chi, but Aikido is basically one of those, like, you go up against someone that's bigger than you, that's stronger than you, and you can take their mobility
Mhm.
and use it to your advantage.
Yeah, my style I learned is like circle throw, very simple throw.
Right.
If you remember Captain Kirk's old throw, he could just go on his back and threw it back.
Right.
That is what comes down goes up, the momentum. That's what we used a lot. Kogaish is another good one. You grab his wrist and he's running out, flip around, and like having a nice strip, or a gauche, a hip throw. Okay, you grab. He's coming in, grab him like as he's pushing forward. Have a nice strip, boing. Let's land on your head, my man. Land on your fucking head.
And people don't realize, like, people make it seem like how are they able to do this so like flawless? You practice.
It's so much
it's
practice.
Technique. It's practice and technique.
Remember the show we did boxing versus martial arts?
Yes, I remember.
Boxing has an upper edge because they have to earn the fight to get to the next fight. But martial arts have more practice and technique behind it.
Exactly.
So I know me and Paul always argue about this, and we're going to argue today.
I remember
on this one.
I remember, but also one of the things that people don't realize, when you do whatever discipline in martial arts you practice, if you're very in tune with it, you don't think it, you just do it.
It comes second nature.
Exactly. It's muscle memory. And you do things and don't even realize it. Like, you could be in a situation, you know how to step out of the way, or you know how to throw the person, and you don't even just think about it, you just do it. And people like,
I want to mention something that Eric said here. All right.
Uh-huh.
The martial art magazine. There were a couple out there. One was the black belt.
Black belt. I remember black belt.
Kick. I remember that. Inside Kung Fu. I don't remember that.
I remember Inside
a couple
Kung Fu.
martial artists that people did not realize they were martial artists. You know who I'm going to talk about?
Oh,
They're from a show. I'll give you that. They're not movies.
they're not movies. Okay, TV shows,
Kids show too.
Power Rangers.
There you go. The first one I'm going to mention is Austin St. John.
Gotcha. I've
I don't
heard that
appreciate
name
what
before.
he's dealing with now, but when I met him, he was the first person martial artist I ever met. First actor martial artist I ever met. First person I met at Comic-Con, and the first Ranger I met. So I was like,
really
coming in my pants at that point. So
really.
yeah, dude, I gotta bust my nut somehow, right?
I remember when my sister did Taekwondo, and I remember at one time it was this one actor. I think it was I'm trying to remember. He was on The Young and the Restless, not Shamar Moore. I think it was Christophe St. John, I believe.
Okay.
And I think he was also doing Taekwondo at one point as well. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember and everything else. But I remember one actor, and he actually trained here for a period of time. My sister actually trained with him, and he's one of the coolest people. From what she told me, he was like one of the coolest people that you ever meet. And despite his hectic schedule, he was very good when it came to training and competition. He didn't compete as much because he was working, but he was from what she told me, he was very good. Like, he wasn't one of those celebrities that just went through the motions. He literally took it serious. I believe it was Christophe St. John. Let me double check.
I'm trying to remember what movie he's from or show. Remind me what he's from.
Okay.
Because I'm having a brain fart. So as you're doing that, I'm gonna mention this guy really fast, and I'm gonna pull up his picture in a minute. Okay. So when his background story, people don't know. When he was trying out for martial art for Power Rangers, it was, I can't remember, it was a dare. I'm pretty sure it was a dare through his friend, and they want to see if he can actually throw a punch. No, that's fucking easy. And he threw a couple, strikes, whatever. They called him back, and called him back. Eventually, he worked with
Christophe St. John. He was on The Young and the Restless. It was Christophe St. John.
Okay, so when it was the final tryout, they wanted to do a fight scene. So he worked with another martial artist.
Okay,
and he made a little bit of contact, not on purpose. And he learned his lesson hard. Oh no!
Yeah, sometimes you're so into it, you don't even realize it. Sometimes
it happens in his combat sport.
Yeah.
So as they, fast forward, he got out of martial arts later on. He got into other things, like he was like EMT for a while and all this stuff.
Oh wow!
But he always gets back to his martial arts somehow, some way. If you look at St. John's YouTube page or something like that, there's a bunch of videos of him talking about it.
Oh really?
Yeah, this is back in 2004. I met him.
Okay.
Now another one people don't recognize. He's a martial artist. Jason David Frank. He's
that's right. I've heard about that. My friend Alex was telling me about that, and he's a big fan of Power Rangers.
Yeah. Oops, wrong picture. He's a huge martial artist. And let him rest in peace also, because
I heard he had some demons, unfortunately.
And people don't realize that the demons he was fighting, nobody knew about it. I met him. You couldn't tell. You could not fucking tell he was fighting in mental health.
Wow.
Again, we always say this in every show. I'm going to say it one time. If you're dealing with mental health, please go help. Go check out. Doing the think you're thinking is not the answer.
Right.
And I hate to say this, but I am going to say it because I am blunt. This is a real, because we don't hide anything on this show. If you are going to do that, what you think you shouldn't do, that's a pussy way to get out.
Yeah.
Face your problems. They suck, but that's part of life. But yeah, he was a big martial artist. When he tried out, he had long hair like every martial artist had.
That's right. I remember.
And they looked at him like, "Do you mind cutting your hair for the show?" I'm like, I prefer not to, but if I have to, I will. So he went ahead and he cut his hair. They
Wow.
and in the first pilot, because originally he was not supposed to be the Power Ranger. You know that, right?
I think he first didn't he play the Green Ranger first?
Yes, but originally he was not supposed to be a Power Ranger. He was supposed to be in VR Troopers.
Oh my god, I remember that show. Oh wow.
Yeah, people didn't realize that he was supposed to be in VR Troopers originally.
How did he go from VR Troopers to Power Rangers?
Very simple. It wasn't his call.
Oh.
The fan base was so high, calling him back, coming to the show. That's how he got it.
Wow.
Yeah. So when he went to do, he came as the Green Ranger,
Right.
right? And the other guy was supposed to be the Green Ranger. Something happened. I don't remember the whole story why he did not become the Green Ranger originally.
Right. I think the Green Ranger was supposed to be a Rogue Ranger, wasn't it? That character.
He was a Rogue Ranger. He was an evil ranger.
Yeah, I remember. Like, I remember watching some of it, and I always remember that the Green Ranger was supposed to be this Rogue Ranger, and everyone was trying to figure out, like, who is this guy? Like, where did he come from?
So he was a like this evil ranger, pretty much, right?
Right.
And so after the Green Ranger, they were supposed to do the original swap, like they said, all right?
Okay.
But it never happened because the backlash of the fans loved them so much.
That they kept him on.
Exactly.
Hey, if it ain't broke, why fix it? Can't blame him.
Yeah. I don't blame him at all.
No, can't. Wow.
So, by that said, who's your favorite martial artist and why as actor?
Oh wow. Never really thought about that. I never really gave it a thought. One person I definitely liked, one person that definitely comes to mind. Oh God. I would say, ooh, who would come to mind? It's kind of hard to narrow it down. I never really thought about that, honestly. Never really did. But when I saw Wesley Snipes do Blade, I was very impressed. And when I saw Michael Jai White do Spawn, I was like,
I think Spawn wasn't a good movie for him
really?
to show his abilities.
It kind of limited it.
Some.
Yeah. Oh wow. But some of the things I remember, like some movies I remember watching when I was younger, like I was a fan of Don the Dragon Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some of his stuff, and he was very good in that. Michael Dudikoff, I think he gets overlooked at times because some people never thought that he was. Oh wow, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Some people never really took him serious, but he was very good. He was a very good fighter in martial arts. Cynthia Rothrock, I remember a good number of movies watching when I was younger. Like when she was in it, and you knew, like, yo, her character was gonna be a badass. Plain simple. People were gonna underestimate her because of her height, but she was able to hold her own. So you got to give her that respect. One person that I think that got overlooked is, and he was in John Wick, Mark DaCosta.
There are a lot of them being actors. And here's the thing. That's why I have the title of the show, Martial Art Actors versus Martial Art Fighters. It is a huge difference. Martial arts actors who learn the art for their role, who haven't really mastered their ranking or actually mastered a kick. It looks beautiful. It's like saying, and you may know this on Anton, Kung Fu and Hollywood Kung Fu. Do you know the difference?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Hollywood Kung Fu is they try to make it look all flashy. Kung Fu is the discipline and everything that comes with it, and you take time to master it.
Mhm.
I've always like the Hollywood, they make it look all like we all remember watching a lot of those martial art movies when we were younger. They make it look all fancy, they make it look all real, like, oh, this is the thing to do, so on and so forth. But then people forget to get to that aspect, you got to start off through the basics. And some people don't want to take the time to go through the basics. They want to get to, oh, I want to do this, and this. But you got to start off by doing this, and this.
Speak of one of my devils who finally showed her head in here. I want to give a big shout out to a housewife. I haven't seen her in a long time. How you been, hon? I hope everything's well. We might have a surprise guest.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you. Hang on. He's famous. So,
okay.
He's up there in people. The martial art. Here's the thing with the martial art thing. The actors, they learn the technique here. They do that. That's it.
Right.
But they're not even like, man, what's the guy who played in John Wick? Help me out here.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, he's a real martial artist, but he's never been in a real martial art fight.
Really?
He trains in judo.
Oh, that's right. That is right.
But he's never put the gloves on to go in a real match.
He trains in judo, but he's not a quote unquote actual judokan.
Yeah, that's what I think and I heard. I'm not.
Oh,
I don't have hours. I'm not following the guy behind him and documenting his life.
Right. I get it.
I'm gonna show off a little bit. Hang on. If I get the damn stylus out, I'm gonna like.
Yeah, I know. Bolo Young. Oh wow, I remember. Oh, I remember Bolo Young.
So he's one of those guys who practice, but he hasn't. I don't think he ever used it because I don't think he had a reason to ever use his martial arts.
True.
Like, I'm actually going to look that up right now just to make sure. I'm pretty sure I am right here, but I don't. If he says he got in a martial art fight or any kind of fight, I'll be very, very surprised.
Okay.
Because I have never heard him even raising his voice, to be honest with you.
No, not really. Not really. Even when you watch him in John Wick, you expect him to yell, scream. He really doesn't. He gets loud, but he doesn't like scream at the top of his lungs or anything else. He may do it every now and then, but not always. But I remember reading up when he got picked for the role for John Wick, the movie was actually supposed to go by another name. And for some reason, they kept forgetting to call it by the names, so they just kept calling it by the character he was playing, John Wick. And for some reason, the fact that it just stayed and people were able to remember the name of the character instead of the name of the movie, they just went with John Wick, and the rest is history.
So it says here, John Wick practices. Ready for this?
I'm listening.
More than one style, actually.
Really?
Kung Fu, judo, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Oh, wow.
All right. You ready to get this guy in here?
Yeah.
You're going to show your pants when I tell you. Ready?
Ready.
Please rise for our president.
Welcome back to vacation, Paul. Welcome back, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. The fantasy is over. You click your heels 3 times and you're back in the reality of life. And first of all, you come back here to 40-degree weather, which when you're in the tropics for 80 degrees, and it's like even spoiled. Charlotte. We stopped in Charlotte on a connector, and that was like 75, 80 degrees there, and then you get here, and it's like brr,
Yeah,
so it's like,
Charlotte gets surprisingly warm sometimes. You don't even realize it.
But it's like, did we ever leave Kansas? You know what I mean? It's just, so you get back here, and then life resumes again, and you just realize how much you're needed to an extent. From the kids with the car to taxes to my church. We got some little critters going around chewing up AV lines, and so just all these things that are just just things you just kind of go back and you just start doing. So yeah, so you don't come back and you don't get a chance to relax too much. You just kind of get back right into your grind and pick up where you left off. So so it is what it is.
Right.
How about it was the jet lag?
Well, we didn't switch time zones. It was mostly the tropics, so you're pretty much you stay in the same time zone the entire time. But certainly we did so much walking. I mean, I got so many steps from last Saturday throughout the vacation. We had very little time to relax. It wasn't like we're just have to pool, drinking mint juleps or whatever. I mean, we're like walking, hiking. Yeah, I mean, we are. We hit a rainforest, and those trails were, somewhat challenging and whatnot. Touring Old San Juan, so I mean, it was like at minimum 14,000 steps a day. I mean, it was a lot of that, and then just being in the airplanes, cooped up. I got it going forward. I got to always book an exit row. I just need more leg room. My legs are just like too long to be in I guess the regular class seating. So it's a business class, a little too pricey for me, but exit row, I got no problem being in the exit row and be like, are you sure? Can you open up this? Like, yes, I got this. If we go down, I can open the door and all that. You guys are no problem at all. But just for that extra leg room, exit row is the way to go
you'll
for
take
us.
it. You don't even realize it sometimes.
They
Yes,
usually
absolutely.
do want a male, strong male, bold, usually ugly shaved face, and the front row usually.
Yeah, but it's weird because they ask you twice, right? I mean, first when you book the flight, you get asked on a questionnaire. Then when you go to check in, and get on the plane, they ask you there as you're going up, and then once you get on the plane, they ask you a last time to say, "Are you willing?" And you have to give a verbal yes. You can't nod your head or whatever.
Right.
And so it's like there's usually there's 4 seats, 2 to the left and 2 to the right. And so they'll ask you. So it's like, yes. So it's like,
Right.
so they want to make sure that you were signing up for this,
you volunteer for
correct.
rescue detail, plain and
That's
simple.
That's it. So yeah, but I mean, the leg room, you can't beat it. I mean, it is ideal. So I may have to get that next time I fly. Just if the exit row is available, me and my wife, we just book it and and just take advantage of it. But I mean, it had certainly a great time, and again, I did show some pictures of our excursions and everything. We just had it was just good being us, and but again, you get right back into the grind, and life continues.
Hey, that means you crazy kids had some fun.
Yeah, we did. We certainly did.
I'm glad you did, man. I'm glad.
Yeah, for sure.
So get ready to work because I'm gonna work you to death now.
Okay. All right. Go for it. What do you got for me?
All right. Have you been catching up with what we were talking about?
No. I saw the title of the show, but I don't know the context where you guys are at right now.
So we're right now talking about this different martial artists who are actors.
Yeah.
I am right now talking about
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves, thank you. He's a real martial artist, but he knows 3 styles, but he has never had to use it personally. Never had to be in a tournament or never into a street fight because he's always been in acting at a young age.
Yeah.
So he did it for more keeping a shape and discipline and all that stuff. He's the nicest guy out there. Everybody says that.
Oh yeah, I've heard stories where a lady had he actually pulled over and helped the lady with a flat tire like it was no big deal. And she was surprised that it was Keanu Reeves. Like, he is so laid back and chill. You forget that it's Keanu Reeves. Like, you're going crazy. Like, Keanu Reeves? And he'd be like, hey, how you doing? Like, you're shocked to see him, but he's so laid back and chill.
And one thing most people don't know about him, and this is, I actually found out last year or a year before, I can't remember. He's actually Orthodox too.
Really?
Christian Orthodox, like I am.
Wow. No, I did not know that.
Yeah, he visited Greece a couple times to go to the church and stuff like that. He's a huge follower. He's a big believer in the Orthodox Christianity faith.
Oh, wow.
he's probably one of the number one supporters of actors, from what I know. There's some other ones too. There are, but he's up there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow.
Yeah, but again, I have never seen him ever use any kind of martial arts except in his movies. Like you never hear, oh, he got in a fight. Oh, did you hear the time back then? You never hear nothing like that. I just looked at
because you know what it is about Keanu Reeves. He has this demeanor, like
Greg, I'm gonna kick your ass first. Then I'm gonna kick Grandpa Jackie Chan's ass next.
Thank you for breaking my train of thought, Craig. Thank you. I think what it is with him, he has this, like his demeanor is so like level, so even, so grounded. You don't feel like bothered or threatened or intimidated. Like he's just almost like he's a regular person that forgets that he's a celebrity. That's the best way I can describe it.
That I'm not going to disagree one bit.
That's the best way. I think he forgets he's a celebrity, and he's like, "Oh wow, I'm in Hollywood. Okay, all right, cool, whatever."
There are a bunch of actors who live a very mild life.
Yes.
Well, isn't that one of the parts of martial arts? Now, again, I know we had the debate show on martial arts versus boxing and whatnot, but like I said, it was not intended to dismiss martial artists for what they do. I think that martial arts as a whole, I think is in its fullness is supposed to give you not only just how to fight, if you're even taught how to fight, but a way of life, right? A way of thinking, a way of calming or being able to develop a confidence. So again, you don't have to flex and prove anything to anybody. It's like that whole thing with the Karate Kid. You had the Cobra Kai guys with their machismo and just bullying people, and that's not really what martial arts is supposed to be about. So if martial arts does give you a sense of calmness about you, because man, this same guy who did Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, right?
Right.
So we talk about going from a younger person to this more mature individual in terms of how they how they live their lives. I think that's one of the benefits that martial arts is supposed to give you, this spiritual development, this mental development, and all these other things that go with it. So it doesn't surprise me that a lot of these guys, these celebrities who are martial arts or practice the martial arts, seem to have a calmer demeanor, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. I mean, it's not supposed, if you need to, act, you can, but that was my only thing with boxing, and that boxing is all combat. There is no learning anything else from it. Even in practice, you're in combat. So I always thought the mindset of a boxer is always one ready to throw those hands if need be. But for the martial artists, again, more times than not, I've seen you're taught not to fight. You're taught not to react unless you're doing like MMA or some other combative sport. But true martial arts is about finding ultimately yourself and self-expression and those sort of things. So it doesn't bother me at all.
It's about the importance of balance. Like you hear the term "find your chi," find your balance, find your center. It's learning how, no matter what, nothing's ever going to throw you out of balance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that I've always appreciated about martial arts. It's the discipline and the focus that comes with it, where you have to learn, like the things you learn to do, you learn to protect yourself from anyone that acts very egregious towards you physically.
Yeah.
It's not used to be a bully. It's not used to be an intimidator. It's not used in a way to strike fear.
Right.
It's used to protect your well-being as well as the well-being of others if necessary.
Yeah.
But it's used to protect your personal well-being. That's the thing people don't realize. It's like, I'll do it if I have to, but don't ever provoke me, or don't do something where I have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. No question.
So that's where, when you look at Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and Taekwondo and Aikido and everything else. Even others like Savate and Krav Maga, you're learning to maintain order in an environment of chaos. And then once you do what you have to do, you have to go back to maintaining that order.
And people don't realize, like, you in a most worst scenario, you must stay calm at all times.
Exactly.
That's why you see a lot of, that's what's martial arts and a lot of things that we don't know about, like police force, military,
Definitely.
there. And probably some other stuff that I don't know off my head either. You know what I'm saying? I don't know everything. I must want to be the martial art guru, but I'm not always. But there are a lot of stuff that we don't know about. I know a lot of teachers, a lot of doctors study martial arts, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because when you're inside somebody, you have to stay calm at all times if something goes wrong.
Right.
You're going to say something, Paul?
No, just co-signing what you were saying. But I guess the earlier context, did you guys talk about like a lot of those the movie actors? How, again, I know a lot of them have studied martial arts, but a lot of those guys, especially in Asian cinema, how they came from that Hong Kong opera background where it's more like dance. Like I know, like the Venom Clan, all those guys came from those operas and whatnot. And unfortunately, I've heard some brutal stories about how those kids are treated because they get those kids like very young, right? They're poor, usually come from a poor background. They're very young, and they go through a lot. All those guys, those Venom guys, they really came through the ringer to be able to perform the way they were able to perform, but then they were able to translate that over to, I guess, that genre of certainly the Hong Kong martial arts scene. You had, like, again, the Venom movies and that sort of thing. Again, how many of those guys actually studied like a true martial art and actually, the idea of combat, how many went there, I don't know. But certainly, with the idea, the attractiveness of it is because it's so choreographed, because you got the strings and you got the coordination to it. It looks like superhuman. But most martial artists, from what I've seen, most martial artists, it's like the fights aren't supposed to be exciting. Like the whole idea in martial arts is like you're supposed to end a fight as quickly as possible and just get out of there. If not,
the way
avoid the
the
fight at
movies
all.
show the martial art fights, they're extended for like 20
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
Fight
then
is more than like it's literally 2 to 3 seconds. Boom.
Yeah.
it's
throw,
one
done.
shot. Yeah, get him down, and usually you go through like a very targeted plays, like the right here or the neck or something like that. You just want to end and get out of there as quick as possible.
Points of a martial arts target range from the torso is usually a box from the head down to the groin area.
Right.
You start going lower the knees, you're not going to affect that as much.
Right.
Some areas you cannot condition. The eyes, the the windpipe is not one you cannot condition. Obviously the groin you can't condition.
Yeah.
I know martial artists who say
I know some guys. That guy Bob Wall, who was in the Bruce Lee movies, he was in Return of the Dragon, and he got that groin shot at the end, or in Enter the Dragon. He was, and he said in interviews, he told Bruce, hit me with your best shot. So again, I don't know if he could train that area or not, but he would take those shots to the groin, and he said, Bruce, don't hold back when you land them.
So there are a few martial artists, and this is actually now we're getting into more of the physical part of it, that when they tense the body up in a horse stand, they're able to take the little tic tacs and suck them up. You can't control it. It's something you're born with. You do it or you don't. You can't train it. They literally can suck it up into their abdomen.
Right.
So they don't realize they do that.
Right.
It's natural.
But what about that whole conditioning? Like you'll see, like I've seen this in a lot of Kyokushin Kai training as well. This idea of this physical, like the ability to take abuse. Like there's one video I shared on the martial arts Facebook group. I mean, you got guys are laying down in order. You got a guy jumping on their stomachs, like jumping from one person to the next and to the next and to the next and back. I mean, so you have that kind of conditioning where you're training yourself to absorb these blows to a certain extent. So I don't know if you're certain areas, like I said, can you train the groin or not? But it's like these guys will take some brutal shots,
Paul,
and you're supposed to be able to take it.
let's put it to the test. I'll let you stand in a horse stand 20 times.
Listen, this is not.
Let me finish. A couple hours later, when you healed up, let me kick you again and tell me if you kick another 20 kicks. And tell me if it hurts then as much as it hurt the first time. Is that a fair deal?
I don't know what I'd be feeling at that point in time.
All right.
What I'd be
That's
feeling,
my point.
Right.
So you can condition. Listen, I can condition all this. I can hit it.
I'm saying, but your body, like I know guys like, especially guys with the kendo stick. I think Eric, he had an instructor.
So my instructor, what he used to do, the sick fuck he was, took a metal chair, stand on it, jump on it. If you're the first one in class, you're the worst one, and literally run across our stomach as we're doing sit-ups. If he was really bored or pissed off, take his fist, boom, right in your stomach as you go into crunches. Okay, next one, boom, the next person. That's how you condition.
Right.
Yeah. But some organs, the eyeballs are a good example.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Condition everything. Say that again, Anton?
No, you're right. Like what it is, you're conditioning your body, or as one instructor I remember when I was younger, you're tenderizing your body. You're calcifying it to learn to accept the blows and not be phased by it. And you'd be surprised how some people now, how hard you try to hit them, they're just gonna look at you like whatever. Perfect example, and this was in a movie, but it gives you that general idea. Remember the movie Rising Sun with Sean Connery and Wesley Snipes?
Yeah.
Okay, you remember the scene where Snipes and Connery are chasing after the one individual who committed the crime, and they got into a fight with these like 4 or 5 guys in the construction site, and they were just there to distract them. And no matter how hard Wesley Snipes kicked or punched them, the guy would just look at him and laugh. That's basically what it is. You're literally training your body to where no matter how hard someone kicks you or punches you, you can just go like this and like, is that your best? Really?
Mm-hmm. That point exactly. Like, you know, my instructor used to punch us in the face multiple times. Like, you condition it.
You got to learn to take a hit.
Yeah.
That's how you compete.
Like, I remember the young kids in their sparring, you know, they're thinking they're tough. Boom! Going down like, oh, fuck. He got to hit his solar plex again. Like, fuck it up, big buttercup. Get up and do it again. I say, get up.
And that's why, and Paul, that's why breathing is important, because what you're doing is if you get hit in that area, in the abdomen, especially in the solar plex, you're supposed to let out the air.
Yeah.
That's the point of the ki, pretty much.
Yeah.
So the ki. So for instance, Paul, like I'm coming, and like so when I'm throwing this ki, it's exhale, 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 exhale. Everybody does a different ki. I always told my students, ki, it can be whatever you want. You gotta express. This is time for you to express it. You can go, isa. I can say, ooh la la, whatever you want to be ki. Your ki is up to you. As long as you're saying it when you're throwing a punch or you're falling. The reason when you're falling, because if they're throwing you, you're coming down on like the mat's gonna hurt. Let the air right out. Come down. You slap the mat at the same time. The impact from all this goes right here, and the air lets it go. It's a science behind it, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So it's a lot behind it. People don't realize it. It's saying, oh, what the hell does a white Greek boy know? Oh, yeah? I don't know what you think, you little shithead.
Wait a minute, I thought you weren't white.
White Greek boy. White Greek boy.
You see how he goes? See, he plays with this all the time.
You've reached your limit on talking.
He code switches like crazy, man. It's unbelievable.
Oh wow!
I am
this all the
when I
time.
see you.
You do this all the time,
Oh
man.
God!
I do it to piss you off. That's why I get you under
He
your
likes
skin,
to play
that's why.
both sides of the fence.
He
Paul
does.
Jerry.
He
What's that?
does.
Whoa! I don't play Burger fans. I don't know where you Jersey boys think this is.
I ain't talking
You know.
about that fence. That type of
Oh,
fence. You know what I mean?
I am not playing that Burger fan. I only throw. I don't catch like you guys.
Oh man.
I'm like, hey, each their own. I'm not here to judge. But you know, Rainbow Team Jersey, go! Rainbow Team Jersey, go! This is why I'm saying my New York side or my PA side. That's it.
Oh wow! Eric's right. Judo teaches the best break falls, and that's true. That is so
Yeah.
true.
And
Yeah.
that's why one thing about my instructor, he learned from the best, you know, over the years, and he took a little bit of everything, and that's why when it first come out, smart ass, when the first two mixed martial arts were Bruce Lee and Master Ray Kazaka. So, Keller, I'm gonna freaking jump through the screen and kill her.
Baklava.
I'm not fucking saying baklava.
Baklava.
So when it came down to, you know, he learned from the best. You know what I'm saying? Even when I learned from the VR and Fujitsu, Master V, we all did the same. You know what I'm saying? The falls are a fall. But do they teach the best falls? Absolutely. I'm not denying that one bit. I don't agree with it. So, but these Hollywood movies, so in the martial art field, they would call it Hollywood Kung Fu because it's mostly wire work.
Yeah.
Matrix is a great example.
Mm.
Think about how much
I know
wire
what
work.
scene, I know what scene you're talking, and I know what scene you're talking about. Also,
Which one? Let me hear it.
You're talking about the scene between Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne when Morpheus is first teaching Neo about the power of the Matrix and everything and what goes on. The fighting
Yes,
scene when
but
they're
I
training.
actually was thinking a different scene. It was towards the end when he actually finally embraced the power. And he jumps up and he does
he
like a
accepts his
360 in his
fate.
body
Yes,
and looked at his gun and throws it and he goes,
yes.
and that's where that came to my mind. Don't mess with Sparta. Jersey. I don't mess with Jersey. I won. Dirty Jersey.
Hey, you still got to get through us to get to New York. Remember that.
I have my ways. Don't worry.
Oh God.
I don't plow like you guys do.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
But anyway, but another one was also Hidden Dragon.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Dragon. Yeah.
That was wire work 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Chow
Yeah.
Yun Fat.
There were some great martial art movies. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it was great.
There were some beautiful kicks in there.
It was like it was like.
But that's the thing.
ballet.
I mean, it shows, like I said, a lot of kicks and acrobatics. But again, in true martial arts, as we talked about on the previous show, most martial arts, maybe with the exception of Taekwondo or whatever, most martial arts, you don't kick above the waist. It's a waste of energy and power typically when you do that. But everybody gets attracted to the spinning roundhouse KO kick. It's like, when it happens, like in an MMA fight or whatever, or when you see it in the movies, it's so cool to watch and to look at. But how likely is that to be landed in a fight? It's like catching lightning in a bottle. I mean, like I said, most of the time, you're not going to see those kind of KOs, but that's what's used to not only promote the sport, because in all the highlight videos you see, I don't care if it was PKA, kickboxing back in the day, or MMA that came later on, they're always going to highlight those knockouts. And like I said, in a lot of those martial arts movies, again, a lot of the kicking is such that that they're going to favor those kind of kicks that, again, it looks cool on screen. But in reality, I mean, you're going to be, most of your most effective kicks are going to be to the lower leg, especially the lead leg of the opponent that's there. And if you could disable that leg or weaken it, then it's a lot easier to kind of go in for the takedown.
There were some movies that made a lot of sense to me. I don't remember the name of it, but in real life, I can't. It was two two brothers who fought each other in MMA. Do you know what I'm talking about, Anthony? I think you've probably seen this one.
Oh, you're talking about Warrior. Yeah, I remember that movie.
Warrior. That made a lot of sense to me, the way it was broken down. Never back down. That's another one, the training techniques. I'm not saying the backstory of the kid. Oh, he went to a rich kid's house, he got beat up. None of that. I'm talking about the techniques, the way they were training. No fighting outside the dojo. That is a real thing.
Yeah.
The only most sensitive will tell you no fighting outside dojo, except it was on self-defense basis.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there are some movies that make a lot of sense. The one I was told it makes a lot of sense. I think you saw it, Paul. I'm not mistaken. The War Machine, I think it's called. I'm right here. The Smash Machine with The Rock.
The Smashing Machine. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Smash Machine. Yeah. That was. I mean, they didn't necessarily go in so much. It wasn't so much about the fighting. Although I would say that the fighting was, relatively realistic in the in the film, and also had cameos like Bass Rutten. He was a coach in the he was a coach in the film, but it was much more the emotional toll of being in the position he's in, and just his personal struggles, with his wife / girlfriend, at the time, and just the struggles and everything that. Again, we get the glitz from seeing the athlete, but we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and they kind of definitely take you behind the dark curtain in terms of what the life of those individuals is like. And like I said, it's not always glamorous.
No, it's not. I mean, the thing about the Smashing Machine, it was the early days of the UFC. It was still not sanctioned.
Yeah,
like it was still seen as, and I remember, in the mortal words of the late Senator John McCain, he compared it to human cockfighting. That's what he thought of MMA and all the other promotions that were pushing it. It was very hard to try to get a UFC fight at the time.
Right.
In any location around the country. It was very, very difficult. I remember catching a UFC event, when I was in Georgia 30 years ago, like during my time in the Army. I was in signal school at the time, and this is before I finished up. They had a UFC event in the state of Georgia, and how the state was able to sanction it, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because only a handful of states were sanctioning UFC fights, and this is before they had weight classes and wearing gloves and the mouth guards and everything you see that was sanctioned. And like I said before, and I think I said this on the previous show when we were comparing martial arts to boxing, I had the privilege of meeting Larry Hazard, who was the head of the State Athletics Commission. And not only he was a former boxer and also a referee himself, I learned at that time he was also involved in martial arts. I believe I forgot what disciplines that he learned and he was trained in. But when he saw what was going on, he came up with a setup that's still used to this day with the UFC and other MMA promotions. The wearing of the gloves, the use of mouth guards, weight classes.
Remember what I said to you guys earlier, not in other shows. I think you were there, Anton. The UFC came from the World Martial Art Tournament, because when the World Martial Art Foundation facility, whatever it was called at the time, they went out of business. Dana White scooped it up, and he scooped it up for pennies almost at the time.
Yeah,
$1,000, but it wasn't nothing worth what it was now. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
He had the foundation of it, and he just took the idea. Okay, all martial arts fight, great idea. So let's build off that something better.
And when you look at the early days, you want to introduce our friend across the pond?
Yeah, why not? I'll give him a little dance. Like he likes
No.
Dance.
Screw it.
Yeah.
What's going on, Craig?
All right,
Big up,
I gotta let
Anton. How you
comment
doing, brother?
before we move on. All right, Eric, I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you with Steven Seagal.
No, it says Steve
Steve
Sanders.
Sanders.
Oh shit, I read that wrong. My bad.
Yeah, Steve Sanders. No, Steve Sanders. He was the guy in the black guy in Enter the Dragon who was the teacher in the black martial arts school.
I know who's
He was doing those moves in the beginning. Move, yeah. So yeah, he's a real dude. He was in the Nation of Islam. I think he did bodyguard work. He was also a police officer.
Thank
But
you
he
for
was
saying that, Paul, because I want to ask you guys a question. Let's go around. Let's go. I'll go first. So let's name our top favorite movies. It can be 5, it could be 1, it could be 6. My personal or no direct order is Never Back Down,
Mm-hmm.
The Warrior I mentioned earlier,
Right.
Ninja Assassin. Even that's not really a martial art movie, but it still has some martial arts in it.
Right.
The first Ip Man I liked a lot. I think it was literally one of the best ones on my personal. And these are going to confuse this one a little bit. Fighter, not the fighter. The fighter. It was the same guy who played in man, what's his name? I can't remember his name right now. Charlie Tampa, whatever his name is.
Mhm.
I'd say that one. Never Back Down, Warrior, and the Karate Kid hours. I enjoyed all of them except that one with the girl in it. That one sucked. So, Anton, you go next.
My
Top
order
5.
of movies. Top 5.
Yeah, you don't have to be in order. You can be like whatever. 5, 6, 20, 18.
Okay,
It's not
top-
110.
okay.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
Okay, you can't never go wrong with the Karate Kid. Can't go wrong with Enter the Dragon. Oh man, what else? What else can you can use? I would have to say definitely Crouching Tiger because I feel it was a thing of beauty. Like it was.
It's good, but not that good.
It was kind of like ballet, bro. That's the best way I can describe it.
I agree.
That's the best way I can describe it. A couple other movies. One movie that had a very good fight scene, I would say, Kill Bill, Volume 1. The scene with Uma Thurman and Vivica Fox. That was a very good scene. Very good fight scene. Even though it was early in the movie, great fight scene. And you got to give those ladies credit because, and whoever the choreographers were that worked with them, you got to give them a shout out as well because it was very realistic. It was no hesitation, no palming their punches and kicks. They literally went at it almost. Basically, it was that realistic. And you could put that in any movie, but I would definitely say Kill Bill. And the last one, oh wow, I can't find a fifth one. I can't really find a fifth one, but
It's okay. You don't have to listen.
That's 4 right there.
It's fine. Everybody's list is going to be different. Mine was more extended than other people, and that's fine. I don't expect you guys to say, "Oh, I have 10 off the bat." Whatever you have 3 is 3, 2 is 2.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, you're up, my man.
All right, so definitely I'll say Karate Kid and Into the Dragon just to kind of get those guys off the table. Outside of that, it's a real toss up for me. I can say 5 Venoms, but honestly, my favorite film of the Venom clan is Invincible Shaolin, because I like the training sequences. I always like the movies where, you have to learn or you get beat and then you got to go to a guy and he teaches you a new style or something like that. You go have the rematch and then you win. So Invincible Dragon had that. But as far as just in terms of iconic films, I got to put the 5 Venoms up there. After that, Bloodsport with Van Damme. Got to put that in. And then I would say Fist of Legend, which was the remake of Fist of Fury with Bruce Lee. This is Jet Li, and that I would probably that would be my top 5.
All right, Greg.
Well, you got Karate Kids. Love them films, the original ones. Then you got Mortal Kombat, The Monk. What was that other one? Bruce Lee, not Bruce Lee. Kickboxer. That was one of my favorites.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
And there was another one. I can't remember the fifth one. I'm sorry.
That's fine. The one I didn't mention because I don't really consider it as a martial art movie, and you guys can disagree with me. It's fine. Dragon, the true Bruce Lee story. I don't
Oh
consider
man,
that.
yeah. That one it pulls a lot of things because I mean, as far as if you talking about an accurate biopic, it's not. On so many levels, it's just off. But in terms of emotional attachment, if you want to talk about storytelling and whatnot, it definitely it hit all the buttons. But it's like anything else, you have to disconnect yourself from the facts if you really want to enjoy it. But at the time when it came out, and this was certainly the first, from what I recall, I know there was some Hong Kong cinema biographical pics of Bruce Lee from Hong Kong cinema back in the day, but really this one was like one of an epic scale, big Hollywood budget and everything. And I thought Jason Scott Lee, I thought he had a very powerful performance in the piece. But like I said, but if you're a hardcore biography guy, and if you want to get accurate storytelling, it didn't meet the mark at all. Even though Linda Lee was a consultant on the project, there was a lot of things that she, I guess, allowed to be kind of embellished. The biggest thing is obviously his back injury. He got that doing some good mornings with weight on his back. It wasn't that he got into this big fight over. I mean, yeah, the whole idea of Asians teaching martial arts to his to Guai Lo or non-Asians, that is true. The fight that he had with Wong Jack Man, that is true. But it's weird. They didn't even. The fight that he had wasn't even with Wong Jack Man in the movie. It was another character that they made up. So again, there was just a lot of things that were so inaccurate. But again, you can't help the soundtrack, the love story between him and Lynn. I mean, you really felt they, like I said, just as if you wanted to have a story inspired by Bruce Lee, then you can go away with it. But I know a lot of Bruce Lee fans who were very upset at that film.
And disappointed too,
because of it was just from the very start when he started taking martial arts. I mean, he didn't go to Ip Man when he was like a 9-year-old kid. I mean, it's like things. It was just so.
Teenager, he
was a teenager when he went to
remember.
Yeah. So it's just so many inaccuracies from start to finish. It was just But again, it's like wrestling, right? You can't enjoy professional wrestling if you don't suspend your belief a little bit. And the same thing was with that film. So I've watched it. I think back. Yeah, I've probably seen it dozens, if not hundreds of times myself. But I know what I'm looking at, though. I know what I'm watching. And to me, it's still the best. I know that you had that movie that came out a few years ago with was like the what was that? It wasn't Dragon. It was Birth of the Dragon. I don't know if you saw that one. Yeah, Birth of the Dragon. They had a guy who, it was a little bit more accurate per se, but again, they just went way over him and Wong Jack Man and the fight they had with them. They made it very stylized, very strings and all that kind of stuff. It was just kind of very inaccurate as well. But I think the Bruce Lee story really did a lot of things good, but there was a lot wrong with it.
That movie you just mentioned, what was the storyline on it? I've never seen it or heard of it.
So basically, it's Bruce kind of like in the U.S. He's kind of trying to become a fledgling star, but again, there's this. It builds up to the confrontation with Wong Jack Man. Wong Jack Man is portrayed as this Shaolin monk who comes to kind of educate Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee's this cocky guy or whatever. And they have this big fight scene at the end, but it's like I said, it's ridiculous when you think about it. But then but it's at that point that Bruce Lee develops his Jeet Kune Do. So it's kind of like and again they borrow off to the facts also. Like when he had the fight with Wong Jack Man, there was no Jeet Kune Do. He was a Wing Chun guy, but he realized the limitations in his Wing Chun, and he realized that he had to evolve. So the point of the movie was Wong Jack Man kind of helped him understand the weaknesses of Wing Chun and forced him to evolve, and he became, you know, what everybody kind of known him to be at the end. But the whole movie really focused more, I thought, on Won Juk Man than on Bruce Lee, and that whole interaction there. So it was okay, but you know, certainly
also
not
the
as good
thing
as
was
Dragon.
also what the movie did was he was already well known in China, he was already well known in Asian cinema, but he was a virtual unknown here in the U.S.
That's true. Also, when he met Ip Man, his first words he said to Ip Man, I want to learn how to fight so I can kick some butt." That's what his first words he said to him, and he smiled, lit a cigarette, and was like, "We'll see about that kid." So it was one of those weird meets kind of thing. So it's a good movie. I can't take it away from that, but it's not a martial art movie.
No,
you know,
it's a total disappointment. It's definitely a disappointment.
The only thing that's been debated in the community a while is, yes, everybody knows Bruce Lee got hurt, originally got hurt with doing Good Mornings. I cannot argue that, but it's also people saying he got re-injured later on at the fight he got, you know, with the one fight he got into, he got kicked to the back. That's not 100% accurate, but 100% not accurate too.
But it was the Good Mornings that literally took him, like when he was in traction, he couldn't walk for like almost a year.
Yeah.
That was from the Good Mornings though. That wasn't like a re-injury. That's the thing that really.
No, I'm saying in the fight he re-injured it. Some people are saying.
Right.
So I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know what happened first. I don't know if the fight happened first or the back injury happened. I don't know what happened.
I think the back injury happened first.
Maybe.
I think it was the back injury, and then it was him trying to recover from it. I think it was the back injury, and then, you know, everything that he went into to trying to recover from that injury.
Yeah,
because I know his wife, you know, it was freaking out when she found out he was going to go fight. He goes, "You can't do it because I'm not doing this again." Because she went through a lot the 1 year he was out of commission.
Yeah. Definitely was a long process for sure.
Yeah, because you said you got in a pretty bad car accident. You were out for a while too, right, Paul?
Yeah, and it definitely not only it you know, there's a lot of things that have to be healed. I'll just say that. I mean, the body has got its own healing process, but then I kind of went on my own kind of spiritual journey with that as well to try to get some things together. So yeah, certainly something like that when you're down for such a period of time, you know, that it could definitely take a toll. And what I did like about the movie was, again, the fact that he was struggling in America, like to make it. Like the Green Hornet got canceled, and really there were not a lot of movie roles happening, and you know, he had to move, I guess, back to China, and that's when, you know, Fist of Fury, Chinese Connection, you know, whatever the
I think it was Fist of Fury and Chinese Connection.
Yeah.
I think that was the time he was filming those.
That's when he really kind of, you know, took off. But, you know, certainly here in the States, he wasn't getting the roles. And again, now the only thing that is still kind of debated was Kung Fu. Now they talk about that was supposed to be Bruce's project, but his was supposed to be something called a Warrior. That was supposed to then evolve into something like that. So I don't know. Like I've heard guys say like he wasn't really considered for the role, or that they didn't want to put like an Asian man like in a primetime spot like that.
And I think that's how David Carradine got the role. They said.
Yeah. So
he was not happy.
But I don't think they took. Like I said, I think the Warrior, and in fact, there was a Netflix series called The Warrior on. That was supposed to have been what Bruce Lee did. It wasn't Kung Fu, so I think they took some aspects of The Warrior and made it Kung Fu and gave it to Carradine. But it's not like, hey, this is Bruce's idea. Like they hyped it in the film. This is Bruce's idea and whatnot. And it's going to be all these things. It's going to be called Kung Fu. It was, again, the Warrior. It was supposed to be the Warrior, and it was supposed to be based like in the West, but it had a very different theme to it. So they kind of took the idea, fashioned another type of show, and then they cast Carradine in it. But it wasn't like they took it from Bruce. And from what I've heard interviews with execs and whatnot, I don't know if he was actually ever really considered for it. For the role of in Kung Fu, but it's just amazing to know how things work out. Because again, if Kung Fu took off, I don't know if we would have heard of him, at least not in the global seen the way he did with the movies that he came out with. I don't know if those opportunities would have happened. So it's just, to me, that's just another example of, you want to plant yourself in one place, but your blessings come from somewhere else.
So in other words, it was a blessing in disguise.
Just enjoy the journey, because again, you don't know where stuff's going to come from, and it had not those things happen to him, he might have got content in the U.S. and been on the U.S. scene, but when he went to Hong Kong, and also you got to understand the type of martial arts that was done at the time. You can't even call it martial arts. Like, it was basically a lot of swinging, like roundhouse kicks and swinging your arms and things of that nature. It was just a lot of, kind of like dancing.
It was kind of like flailing almost.
Yeah, but the style that Bruce brought, it was bold and rough and aggressive. That is what people never saw that before in Hong Kong cinema. And from what I understand, what actually did happen was, like what they did get right in Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, was the crowd was silent. And that's the thing, like in Asian cinema, if a movie's really good, like when Star Wars premiered in Japan, there was no reaction. But they say that is a sign of respect. Like, when you really nail it, that's the highest form of respect, is that you stay silent in the film. And that's what they did capture in Dragon. Like, everybody was very silent at first until one man clapped, and everyone went crazy after that. So again, he introduced a new fight choreography to cinema that wasn't displayed certainly in the things that came before it, and certainly not in the Hong Kong cinema genre that came after it. And again, with the wire work and the Chinese opera house performers and whatnot, his was much more rooted in realism than the other forms of genre. So you almost you put Bruce Lee in a separate category from the traditional kung fu cinema that we used to seeing on 5 o'clock on Channel 5 in the afternoons, at least here in New York area, Channel 5 through Kung Fu Theater.
Or Channel 11.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't see a lot of that stuff. You know what I mean? So you just so hey, shout out to Braxton. So again, what he really did was, I mean, to say he really launched Hong Kong cinema to a global thing. I mean, that can't be said. That his impact on the genre is just incredible. But he was an actual guy who could actually do it. I mean, that's another thing too. So he was a legit martial artist. He had he brought a philosophy to martial arts. He introduced us to our whole idea of mixed martial arts, and he was the biggest global icon probably ever. I like I said, I know Jet Li and Danny Yuen and all these actors who have performed Jackie Chan. I know they have a broader catalog of films. They've done dozens, if not hundreds, of films.
Right.
But the impact that Bruce had is like I said, is just can't be denied. For a guy who only did 5 films, amazing. And even the 5th film, he didn't even finish. And still, it's considered the tracksuit is still the most most iconic look in all of Asian cinema. I don't care what timepiece or period or whatever. When you see the yellow tracksuit with the black stripes on it,
and those
you know exactly who we're talking about. That's why Kill Bill stole it. Yep. No, it wasn't in Kill Bill. We know exactly where that came from.
Quentin Tarantino used it as a tribute because he's a big fan of kung fu movies. He's a big fan of martial art movies, and that scene in Kill Bill Volume 1 where you saw Uma Thurman in the tracksuit with the matching Asics,
right?
Mind you, that was a tribute to Bruce Lee.
Yeah,
that was his way of paying homage to him and what he has done.
Well, it's interesting you say that because a lot of people had problems with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Really, I never had
if you saw the film, there's a scene in the film. Now, this is the one. The film is based on that scene in the late '60s where you had the Sharon Tate deletions with that guy, who's that serial killer guy, Charles Manson. It was kind of based around that time.
Oh wow!
And there's a segment in the film, you can look it up on YouTube, where Bruce is on a movie set and he's going around and he's talking big and whatnot, but he doesn't look good in the film. And it really certainly upset his daughter Shannon and a lot of, again, Bruce Lee fans. It did. But Tarantino said that, yeah, Bruce, this was kind of like how Bruce was on set. So again, but this was like during the time when he was on Green Hornet. So again, I don't know if this was maybe early in his career, maybe he wasn't as mature or whatever. But you had a lot of people upset with Tarantino for his depiction of Bruce in that film. And you can, like say, you can go back and watch the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is the film. And just look up the Bruce Lee scene. And the guy who actually plays him is pretty good. I mean, as far as the look and the mannerisms and everything and the accent, he really nails it. But again, Bruce doesn't come off looking as, the invincible guy as we all know, have seen him certainly depicted in other films.
Okay.
And that's the thing. He was never invincible because obviously he's not with us anymore. It makes me think sometimes if he was able to, he never passed away. And they say if he lived to 100 years old or whatever age, how would martial art movies be today? Because you can't deny he was the founder of martial art movies.
How would they look? That's a great question. Because honestly, I don't know. I think that a lot of his stuff would have been a lot. I think he was trying to become more mainstream. So I don't know if he would have kept the movies in the quote unquote kung fu or martial arts realm. Like I think he would like. I think he was almost trying to be like James Bond. And if you look at Enter Jackson, that's what he plays. He plays like a secret agent who knows how to fight. And I think he would have tried to continue that to have more broad range of films there. But I don't know if he would have outgrown, quite frankly. Because again, I think when Enter Dragon came out, again, it was a big deal. It was a co-Hollywood feature. You had Hollywood Mummy, you had Warner Brothers and Golden Harvest. It was a collaboration. And seeing the success of that film, all of the Hollywood studios would have came after him. And I don't think that Hong Kong cinema could have competed with what Hollywood was offering, which is what he always wanted. Like he wanted to be the biggest star in the world. And so I think that to an extent, I think he would have outgrown the genre, and you would have saw him in more spy films, more secret agent type of films, going on assignment, maybe even, like I said, like almost like a James Bond series, more so than in the kung fu era. I just don't.
Other martial artists actors that were big in the 90s. Jean-Claude Van Damme, for a great example. Big name, everybody who knows who he is to this day. He does not do movies anymore because nobody wants to hire him anymore because he's known to be the fancy kick, the showboat martial artist. And he's a legit martial artist. He knows how to throw a kick. He knows how to perform. But his time has passed. I have a feeling with even if he tried to be like a kung fu version of James Bond or whatever, Bruce Lee's time would have passed like every actor does at some point.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I think he will be very involved if he was around today. Very involved with the UFC and martial art community more than anything.
Oh, definitely,
Yeah.
because he was all about, spreading the philosophies that came with martial arts. Now people forget, when he was on the Green Hornet, no one took him serious. But I remember hearing when it was on in Hong Kong and other parts of Asia, it was called the Kato Show. He was the star.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just, okay, Hollywood didn't take him serious, but Hong Kong cinema praised him. A lot of fans of Hong Kong cinema that watched the Green Hornet, but branded as the Kato Show in China, he was seen as a hero.
Yeah.
Because I think it was the first time you saw an actor or an actress of Asian ancestry on a television show at the time. And he wasn't just no sidekick. He wasn't just there for comic relief. He was taken serious. And a lot of people took part in that.
He was. People watched because they want to see him.
Yeah, that's no doubt about it.
I certainly agree. He got the love from that, but I just that from what I know of him, he always wanted Hollywood. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they gave him love. But we see this a lot, right? It's like we gave you love, we gave that push, but then you went for again the greener path. Like I said, Golden Harvest would not be able to pay. I mean, he would have been like if you talk about 70 stars, so go back to like the mid 70s, right? You got the James Bond films, you got Reynolds, you got Robert Redford.
Which
I mean,
one?
you're talking about those type of like Robert. I'm talking about like the stars, like the Hollywood stars of the 70s. Burt Reynolds, Robert Redford. He would have been in that category, and I don't think that Asia could have held him, even though the fandom was there, and the pull of Hollywood would have been too great for him to turn down unless he wanted to. But crack Hollywood, and I think the fact he didn't get the kung fu role or the warrior role, I think he would want to kind of tease a little bit. So he would have been making like a film back in the 70s probably if they really wanted him. But I think that's the demand again them that you can't have this Asian guy who can be the face in a major Hollywood film. And I think he would have milked it for everything that it was, at least for the time he would have been in. Because I agree with you, Pete, that every Hollywood act, with the exception of a few, like Denzel, it doesn't matter what decade he's in, right? Denzel's always going to have a significant part to play. There's very few actors that can have range like a 23rd. Tom Hanks. That's like another one. Like these guys just keep making movies and still doing stuff. I don't know if he could have did it for that long, but he would have had a 10-year run.
That's true.
Tom Hanks doesn't make action movies; he's more drama.
I know, but I'm just saying. But for Bruce,
drama or comedy,
he hasn't made a movie in a very long time. If you think about it,
right. But I think he would have had a 10-year run. So you're talking about from 73 to 83, 84. I think that would have been his peak, and then he might have went out and did other things after that.
Yeah, because like there are a few actors like Sly. He still makes movies, but he makes them very far between now because he knows he cannot do what he used to do.
The physicality,
movie, it was. I'm not talking about Creed. I'm talking about the one he actually was in ring and boxing. He struggled. You could see him. He's acting. He wasn't 100% into it. Like his punches, he was like. I remember the last good one. With the Russian one, he was literally going with the guy, going blow for blow.
Okay.
But this one, he was like, you could tell he was pulling his punches because he's up there in age. He's not a young buck.
It's hard to be that physical guy for that long. I know Tom Cruise does it. He's like 60 years old, but he's still doing Mission Impossible films and stuff like that.
61, I think.
Yeah.
But
he's up there, but he a couple guys can pull it off. But I agree that because even I think Arnold's coming back. I think he's doing another Conan film. I think it's like King Conan. Yeah, but he's not going to be. I think acting like that. But he's going to be like it's almost like the old at the end of the Conan films. You show him on the throne. He's kind of much older and whatnot. Right. I think he's going to be in that kind of vein. And I think they may do flashbacks or something like that. What's that?
Like passing the torch kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. Or they may do some, they may do some CGI flashbacks and de-age him and make him like he was back in the day. But I think the issues that he'll deal with are going to be different than not so much as a fighter, but more as a hopefully he's gained some wisdom in the time that he's there. But
right.
They definitely I think they always show some screenshots of what he's how he's dressed and what he looks like and everything like that. But I think it's going to be
I know with like you said, Tom Cruise before. He's 63. But Arnold, you have to keep one thing in mind with him. He does have a heart condition. So lifting weights and all that stuff is out the window now. Like he can lift some kind of
Yeah, he does. He did.
yeah.
He just did this past Arnold weekend was a couple weeks ago, and he still works out and does certain things. But yeah, he can't do the heavy lifting anymore for sure.
Yeah, he doesn't go extreme on it
No.
like he used to. It's too much for him at this point, and that's the thing. Like people are realizing their immortality at this point, and how much how much can you push your body as a fighter, as a martial art, and as an actor? You can only push your body so far. You know what I'm saying? And The Rock is a great example. He had all that muscle. Nacho or Juice has a whole different argument for a different show, but he realized he had to drop the weight. Batista's another one.
He bulked up for the last film though.
I'm sorry.
He put like 30 pounds on for the Smash Machine.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he bulked up. Yeah,
he bulked up, but if you notice, after he did the movie, when he cut that weight. He was able to cut it.
Yeah, he slimmed down. Yeah. Because he had to build a different body. Because it was like the it wasn't like a muscular like the ripped. No, the main guy, he's kind of real. He's kind of like broader, so he had to change his training up to kind of build that kind of
and probably change his diet
physique.
too.
Yeah. Which is amazing when you think that even the real guy, how he could be that big and move the way he did at that time. That's
Oh, I seen big guys move fast, bro. Don't hesitate their size.
But a lot of times you don't see those guys like dominate. You know what I mean? Like typically, especially in MMA, at least from what I've seen, speed or the ability. I mean, speed and power usually down there. But just because you're the biggest, most muscular guys, like that guy Sapp, I think it was what was that guy? Not Warren Sapp, but it was George.
Bob Sapp.
Bob Sapp. I mean, that guy's a monster. But you could tell in the ring, it's like he's got no conditioning. If you can get past the first round, you could probably take him out. But if he gets his hands on you, then you're not, you're not going to make it. So I think that even with MMA, just like in heavyweight boxing, I think there's a limit. If you get too big, like Tyson Fury, for example, in boxing is an anomaly. The guy's like 6'9", and he fights at 260, 270, but he's got a very awkward type of fighting style. But typically, guys like that typically don't do very well at that. You see a lot of slow heavyweights. And so, when you see guys who are a little bit lighter and can move around, I'd say 225, 230, I think is an ideal weight for a heavyweight fighter. Once you start getting into the 250-plus range, generally you're going to be very slow. And you're going to see the punches like Frank Bruno. I know Craig from Britain. Frank Bruno, he was a big muscular guy, but again, you could see you could see his punches coming. I mean, he was such a prodding guy. Even AJ Anthony Joshua, again, not the most fastest guy. So I think there's limits to like heavyweights, and I know you need to have like a super heavyweight division. But again, a lot of those fights generally, because of just the, moving all that around, you can say guys are holding back because they don't want to expend too much energy because they'll burn themselves out too fast.
Another guy that was like that too, I remember, I think it was Francois Botha. He was like at 245, 250, maybe a little bit more. There was a couple other boxers I'm trying to remember. I think Donovan Razor Ruddock was at there.
Well, he was lighter. He bulked up a lot, especially at the second fight with Tyson. He got up to almost like 240 plus.
Yeah.
But he was better when he was at a low, like again, 10, 15 pounds less. But like Tyson as an example, right? His best, he was fighting around 215, 216, like in that.
Yeah.
And he was fast. It was like you just couldn't,
Another boxer that was like that too, Evander Holyfield. He was never, and what worked for him, he was tall. Evander Holyfield was
6'2",
I think 6'3", 6'4".
No, he was like 6'2". He was like 6'2", yeah. 6'2" and a half, yeah.
I remember the guy's
never
name.
fought no more than 210 pounds. Like you rarely heard him over 210, 215.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't remember this guy's name, but he's a beast. He's literally covered from tattoos, neck down, all over his head and everything. The bald guy, white dude. I believe he played a small scene Generation Iron 2. He was supposed to join Rich Piazza's 5% nutrition team. MMA fighter, huge guy. And he moved lightning fast. And he turned into an acting next after that. man, that guy is incredibly fast. And you see him, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. But again, but
For
it's I'm
something-
saying that right. I'm not saying you don't have guys. I'm saying it's rare. Like if you would just line up most boxers or MMA fighters that are over 250, typically don't move very fast. I mean, it's or they tire. Like Brock Lesnar, he was like 265. He was like at the limit 265, and you saw if he didn't get you on the ground in the first round, he was gassed by the second round, and he's probably going to get knocked out in the third. So again, that typically doesn't happen. To carry that kind of muscle mass around and exert too much energy, it's that's why, you know, again, if you look at the best fights, you know, middleweight, welterweight, that's where you see that kind of combination of speed and power and whatnot. But once you start getting not only just heavyweight, because like I said, 215, 220 is a heavyweight, 225. I think, like I said, I still to this day, I think that's still the ideal size of a heavyweight fighter. Once you break 250, it gets very boring. When you had the Klitschko brothers, you saw them again, very boring. That's why boxing really took a hit back in the day because of these big 250-pound guys. Even Lennox Lewis got up that high, but he didn't have like an exciting, like a crowd pleasing style.
No.
But you know.
No,
He might have been the best to do it at that weight.
Mather Ford. He was a British MMA fighter, British bodybuilder that turned into acting.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, his height is 6'8".
Oh wow.
And this guy, when I say he's fast, he is incredible fast for his weight and height. I mean, when he kicks, you do not want to be behind that kick. It is going to destroy bone.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, just bones. You might be knocking to the next generation, and that's how bad he's gonna kick you. Like I see him kick on videos. I'm like, he's incredible, dude. If you see a picture here,
What was the name of that fella who had the hardest punch and he bit someone's ear off?
Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
Thank
this
you.
is the guy I'm talking about.
Oh
Anton.
wow.
Look at him. He's a beast, bro.
Damn.
But see, here's the thing. You can see, and I think I've seen that guy, and I've seen him do the bag work, right? I've seen him kick the bag and do all that kind of stuff. When these guys get in the ring, though, it's a different story. Because again, to trade punches with a guy who's there, I mean, it's like Bruce Lee said, boys don't hit back, neither do heavy bags or whatever bag that you're hitting. Anybody can look good on a speed bag, on a heavy bag. You can do all your kicks and throws, and everyone's just blown away. But when you get into a fight, a lot of those guys with all that muscle, they get gassed. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not one of those guys who doesn't believe that, you know, you can't weight train and do a sport, because that used to be a thing back in the day. Like a lot of sports, except for like football, a lot of sports didn't encourage you to lift weights because they thought that would make you muscle bound. And we know that's not true anymore. But even still, there's a limit. And again, you typically don't see guys that muscular doing well in a lot of fights. Because again, it's just, that's a lot of muscle just on your body. I mean, think about how many calories you got to consume every day just to maintain that. And the guy is a low body fat percentage. So again, it's not like he's got a lot in reserve. A lot of times those guys get in the ring, they look great. They're great for model shots or whatever. But when it comes down to the actual fight, more times than not, from my experience, those guys get beat pretty easily because, again, they just can't sustain any kind of long, enduring type of fight. Like I said, especially in boxing, by the 5th or 6th round, you're done. You know.
Yeah.
The only problem with him, he's not only a fighter, he's also a bodybuilder on top of that. So he's competing at something all year round. So he needs to find a balance between bodybuilding and fighting. How to balance the training of weight. It's different weightlifting for fighting, and it's different for bodybuilding. I think you can agree on that, Paul.
Oh, for sure.
So how?
But the main thing is, like I said, the body fat. Like, believe it or not, most people who are, if you're under like 10% body fat, that's not healthy, right? I mean, the body wants to like all these IG guys, and you know they want to show the 6-pack abs all the time. That's not generally a healthy state to be in all year round. You know, you got to give yourself a break or whatnot, or you can't be physically active, like trying to get into an MMA fight or something like that, because again, the body, you just don't have the reserve in place. You know, if you're that cut or ripped, you're more times than not, you're going to be dehydrated. That's why even boxing now, you have the weigh in, and the guys will get on the scale and they flex and they show their abs and all that kind of stuff. By the night of the fight, they already hydrated up 15 pounds. So if you weigh in like as a welterweight at 160, by fight night you're like 170, 175. Just in water weight.
Because you're doing everything to make sure that you make weight. You got
to make the scale, yeah. But like I said, that's most of those guys, again, they're very deeply dehydrated state, and in that point, it's also a very dangerous state to be in at that time.
Oh, most definitely.
Question.
Yeah, what's up?
Is it bigger you are, muscly wise, as a bodybuilder yourself? Still a handsome devil, by the way.
Appreciate
it. But the bigger you are, the slower you are. Does that make any sense?
The bigger you are, the slower you are?
Yeah, movement and that sort of shit.
Generally, yeah. I mean, it's and you can kind of go over, like Muhammad Ali is probably considered like one of the fastest heavyweights like of all time in terms of like his jab. Again, but he's not the norm. Ali was like 6'3", 210 to 215 pounds at his peak. And he could move like no other head. So the visual, when you see it on the screen, he's very fast. He's not faster than Sugar Ray Leonard, though. Or any other prime welterweight. Like, generally speaking, yeah, the bigger you are, you're not going to have that same hand speed or movement as a lighter guy. And that's why a lot of guys, like, for example, if I'm a heavyweight and I'm training against a guy who's faster than me, I'll spar with guys who are lighter. So I'm a heavyweight. I'm sparring with light heavyweights. Why? Because I want to go with a guy who's faster generally.
Yeah.
Because the guy I'm facing is going to be is considered to be faster than me. So you have a lot of in boxing training, you'll have welterweight spar light heavyweights or vice versa, because you need to be able to handle different scenarios. So if a guy's fast, you want to train with a guy who's faster, so that when you get in the ring with the guy, it's like, oh, he's not so fast because I've been training against these lighter weights and whatnot, and so I'm used to the movement to it. I'm used to the timing of the punches and things of that nature. So I would say, generally speaking, that is true, but you do have some anomalies that tend to be very fast. Like I said, Tyson Fury is probably the biggest quick man I've ever seen. Like he doesn't. I don't understand a guy 6'9", weighing 270 at fights, how he can move the way he moves, and he can move like that for several rounds. Like, I've never seen that before. So I don't want to make him the anomaly being the norm. So I would say, as a basic principle, yes, the bigger you are, generally you're going to be slower than a guy at a lighter weight than you.
It's the buildup of endurance and stamina for someone to be that big and you can still move quickly. That's what it is. That's what it leads to.
But he doesn't even look, and that's the thing, he doesn't even look muscular. I mean, look at Tyson Fury. His body is not impressive. He's kind of chubby. He's kind of, like I say, he's just I don't understand how a guy like that can move the way he moves.
It comes down to training.
But then you have more guys doing it. That's my thing. If it was down to training, then you see a lot more guys like him, but you don't.
Right? How do you know he's doing a special training technique that might know? That gives the secret.
If you're in a camp, like for example, if you're a trainer, right, or if you're, or you're a promoter, if you could replicate what Tyson Fury does, trust me, you would want other people to know it, because again, it would help you, it would help your promotion, it would help everybody involved. So why wouldn't you want to share that if he had a special type of training, as long as the two don't meet, right? That would be the issue if the two squared off at some point. But generally, like I said, there's never been another Tyson Fury, and there's never been another Mike Tyson. I mean, when have you seen a guy in his prime? I have never, and this was the thing back in the day why we were so in the 80s. I never saw a guy move like Tyson, like ever.
Tyson
The
was
head
a bulldog.
movement, the power, he can knock you out with either hand. That combination shot, the shot to the body, and then the uppercut, the Tyson combo. He could throw it with either hand and knock you out. I mean, it was just, we were like, what are we watching here? Just like in my dad's generation, they saw Muhammad Ali. No one saw a fighter like Muhammad Ali. Like, what do we do with this guy? He's a puffed up light heavyweight, is what people were saying initially. But again, his movement, I mean, or go back generations before, Sugar Ray Robinson. Nobody saw that kind of, back in Sugar Ray Robinson's day, they were pugilists. It was like, you hit Jake LaMotta and these guys, they're like, look, you hit me and I'm going to hit you, and we're going to see who's going to stand at the end of this fight. These were like slobber knockers. These were pugilism at the highest level. It was about toughness. Sugar Ray Robinson, the guy was a dancer. Like, literally, like, he knew how to dance. And he put his dancing into his boxing, and people were like, I don't know what this is. I don't know how to defend this. Because we never saw it before. He was like a mutant back in the day. So when you have these anomalies, you think, yeah, everyone would love to find the next. People have been looking for the next Ali, hasn't happened. People are looking for the next Tyson, hasn't happened. And then even Tyson Fury hasn't happened. So you get these guys who are just forged out of the earth, and they just find themselves into the sport of boxing or whatever, or martial arts or whatever, and they just continue to they just continue to do their thing. So
yeah. All right, guys. So we're getting close to the show. Let's get our final thoughts in. Anton, you want to go first? Paul next, and Greg last.
All right. Whew. Let's see. This was definitely a great topic and everything else. I love talking about martial arts. It just makes you appreciate what I learned growing up and the different disciplines and the different disciplines associated with it. You can always tell the difference between someone that has trained for a significant amount of time and then goes into Hollywood to be an actor or an actress, and those who train while as an actor and actress for a role and they apply it to when they're acting. There's a significant difference. And you can really, and for those who've never done martial arts, you're not going to notice the difference. But for anyone that has done martial arts, you can tell the difference. The little things, whether or not they're telegraphing, whether or not they're palming their punches, whether or not they're extending their leg when they kick. It's just those little things. To me, martial arts is a very good discipline. It's not just about getting in shape. It's about the betterment of self in every aspect and every way, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And that's one of the great things that comes with it. We look at some of the stuff that we've seen and we remember watching back in the 60s or the 70s and 80s, and will it work in this time period? Could you apply it? In some cases, yes. In some cases, no. And that's sometimes what the challenge is now, is it's kind of hard to find anything that's authentic and anything that looks just like a ruse. So the best way I could describe it is each discipline brings something to the table, whether it's Taekwondo, whether it's Wushu, whether it's karate, whether it's judo, whether it's Aikido, Muay Thai. It all brings something. It teaches you how to balance, keep balance, and stay focused and maintain order in a situation of chaos. And that's all I got to say. And those are some words we're thinking about. Thank you.
No question. I mean, certainly martial arts is, like I said, it's a totally different category than martial arts films. Probably, if you want to really look at martial arts, Karate Kid might be the best martial arts film. If you want to talk about what all of martial arts is supposed to represent, not only physical training, values, calming yourself when it comes to a situation, how to have balance in your life. That is all of what martial arts I think encompasses. But the genre of martial arts cinema is really, it's about acrobatics. It's about things that are not necessarily practical in a real fighting situation. Like I said, most fights don't last that long, and you're not doing all those kind of techniques and whatnot. There's no snake or centipede style that's really going to make the difference, or in a real fighting situation. So I mean, you got to really take it for what it is. It's just entertainment, and certainly you marvel at what these acrobats are able to do, even with the wires. You're still amazed at what these guys are able to do, and you certainly appreciate that. But like I said, it's just, to me, it's like professional wrestling. You have to suspend your belief in order to enjoy what it is. But certainly, real fighting is oftentimes is very different from what we do on screen. You don't know what's coming, and if you even watch the moves, you can tell. Like, the moves are choreographed. Like, it's a lot of times they're not even trying to punch; they're just trying to meet. So again, I'm not punching at you. I'm throwing my punch here. You block it, and then I do another move, and we just do this very choreographed type of thing. That, like I said, it's very entertaining. It's very cool to look at. But a real fight, that's something else. And I think Bruce Lee, one of the biggest contributions he made to martial arts was bringing, again, a more realistic fighting style, even though it was stylized. But he brought a real fighting style to the genre. And he would do things like go for the eyes or the throat or hit you in the groin and things of that nature. Things that that in the streets, what real fighters would do. And so therefore, certainly his contributions both to the martial arts for real and to martial arts cinema, I don't think we ever have a guy like that. I think is Bruce Lee and everybody else, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, those guys notwithstanding, I think he's the GOAT. So that's all I got.
Paul, you're a git. You stole my idea from Karate Kid. But yeah, Karate Kid was an awesome film. I'm not really. Pete, you bloody old git. But anyway, I can't think much. I wasn't really much onto martial arts, but I just thought the films were pretty good. If any of you lot ever heard of The Monk, or those type of films, that's a good film to go and watch. Teaching him about martial art, a bit like Karate Kid, but a bit more magical. Sorry, that's all I've got, guys. Sorry.
All right, you guys are good. Thank you for guys coming up today, and Paul, thanks for coming in. As the plane landed, he rushed right over to get on his computer. I want to see from now on, man. Dedication to the channel. Yep. Nothing else.
That's it.
Martial arts has always been a very important thing to me. I always mention that. That's why I do so many martial arts shows. I gotta say, martial arts is here to stay. Is always gonna stay. That's all I'm gonna leave it to. Let's do a quick schedule update because we have a couple of shows coming up. We have like a good. And this one Paul doesn't know about, so he's gonna be a real time, real expectation. We're gonna see. Everybody knows about him now. So tomorrow is a Colin show in the gray area. So we're gonna be chopping me and Paul. So jump in, say hi. Curse us out because you always guys talk shit in the chats. I'm calling you guys out. And Tuesday we're gonna be back on with the great Spawn Arena. We're talking street smarts versus book smarts. Which one is going to be the winner in life? And Thursday we actually have a show, Paul.
Yeah, we're trying to certainly relaunch Next Gen Training. What are you doing?
We have a guest on Thursday, my man. You forgot. You get the memo. You didn't check your email. We have Michelle Dover, a actor/director, coming on the show.
Awesome.
So she's gonna be on 9:30. I'm still finally working on the last details. I'll talk to you guys off screen about that. And And Saturday, Friday, we are having Spartan. That's my name. Wrestling talk. We're Spartan. Me and Einstein, we're gonna be chopping it up. If it goes to plan, of course. And next week, boy, you're gonna like this one. Rambo versus the Punisher.
Okay.
Ooh.
So, except that, guys, this was the Spartan HQ Network on the show of shows. Our person hangout. I am the Spartan. He is my man, Anton. My man, Mr. President. Greg from the pond. Ow.
Dude.
Hey, at least he didn't slap himself this time. Saluting you.
Oh, come on.
Spoke too soon.
That was my hand that time.
As always, guys.
Your fault.
As always, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys.
Yeah, have a good one. Be safe.